In this part, we're going to have a look at different sitting positions for our meditation and pranayama practice. This is why I have this chair here to show you the first sitting position. In pranayama, it's very important to have a straight back so that the energy in the breath can flow freely through our body. This is why it's no shame whatsoever to start practicing your pranayama and your meditation practice on a chair. Because when we have a chair that first of all has a flat surface, that's very important. A lot of chairs, especially modern chairs these days, are a little bit inclined, so they make you slouch. Basically the front part is higher than the back part, creating your hip to tilt forwards and you're sitting like this. So find a chair that has a straight surface and then don't just lean back against it. Sit that the most part of your legs are sitting on the chair, and put the fleshy part of your buttocks a little bit away so you have a little bit more support here. So you want to remain in a state where your spine remains in this neutral position. That means you have the normal curvature of your spine. When you're sitting, try to make sure that your feet are flat on the floor. If you don't touch the feet completely on the floor, put something under your feet so you can really sit with your feet planted firmly on the ground. So, feet firmly on the ground, you want to have a 90-degree angle in your legs approximately. So the legs are facing straight forward. You can place your palms on your legs now or facing upwards. The pelvis is slightly rotated to the front, so you have the neutral back, a straight spine. The shoulders are gently rolled backwards and down. The chin slightly tucked to the chest and slightly pulling upwards with the back part of your head. So this is a perfect position in which you can meditate and practice your pranayama. Now let's progress one stage further. So the chair comes away now. The second progression would be coming to the floor. Here it is really important to have a cushion because this makes it far easier to sit for longer periods of time. And also it will prevent that your legs will fall asleep, because when your hips are elevated a little bit higher than your legs don't fall asleep so easily. This brings us to the first seated position, which is Sukasana, or the easy pose. Easy pose is just, as it's also called, very easy. You're just sitting with your legs crossed. This leg is supported by this foot and this leg is supported by this foot. After longer periods of meditation or pranayama, also this can become a little bit uncomfortable. So I suggest that you take some pillows and prop yourself up a little bit more here so that the weight of your legs does not completely rest on your feet. Here again, put the fleshy part of your legs, of your buttocks away so you can have the normal curvature of your spine more easily. Again, same holds for the seated position on the chair here. Shoulders slightly rolled back and down, chin slightly to chest, relaxed, straight yet erect. And again, palms on your knees or the other way around. One progression further would be to put one leg, and here it's very important to first pull your leg in and then to the side, because like this you make sure that the rotation comes from your hip and not from your knee. So pull the leg in, open up, and then place it in front of you. And you do the same with the other, in and out, and place it in front of the other foot. Like this you have both feet on front of one another. This gives you a little bit more of a stable position because now your whole leg and both legs and your feet are resting firmly on the ground. So you have a little bit of a more stable position. It requires a little bit more of an open hip, but it also gives you more stability. The next progression would be to have your foot in between your calf and your thigh. This gives you even more stability because your legs are now kind of like intertwined with one another. This gives you more, when you now wriggle around, if you can hold this posture, you'll have more stability. Again, do the same thing with your legs, so the rotation comes from your hips and not from your legs or from your knees. This position can even go one progression further into the half lotus position. So now again, rotating from the leg, putting it here now, and you try to rest your foot as high as possible towards your thigh, towards your hip. So you not just put them here, but as high as possible. And like this, you sit in half lotus. In the lotus positions, it's not even necessary anymore so much to have the pillow, because especially now when we progress to the full lotus, which is one leg on top of the thigh and the other leg again on top of the other side thigh. This is the most advanced seated meditation position, and you can see even my right leg here is not as flexible, so that it can remain completely on the floor without warming up. So this will be the full progression of it. And I said that you don't really need the meditation cushion anymore, because in this position, from my experience and from other people's experience, your legs don't tend to fall asleep so easily when you have the flexibility in the hips. But as I mentioned, this is a very advanced seated position, and this is why we also have the seated positions that do not require you to sit in a cross-legged position. These are the kneeling positions. So when a cross-legged position is not for you, then there are ways to just kneel. And you can do it in two ways. One way is by the support of your own heels. So you basically sit on your heels like this. Again, here you have the advantage of having the normal curvature of your spine. And the next progression would be to have your legs a little bit further apart. So you're actually sitting on the floor, or you take a cushion and put the cushion under your buttocks. Put the legs left and right to your cushion or your seat. And then again, we have a little bit of a more open position with our legs. But again, we have this straight curvature of our spine. And we can sit very comfortably here in this position. And if you say none of those positions is for me, there's one more kneeling position that I can't properly show you right now, but they're devices such as meditation benches. And they're basically a bench that you can place below your buttocks here, that have legs here and here, so you can sit on it, and you basically have your legs under the bench. And this is very comfortable to sit on, and I sometimes use this for very long periods of meditation. All right, I think that helped you, or I hope that helped you. And for the following meditation and pranayama sequences, try to figure out which seat is the best for you, and really be honest with yourself. It doesn't matter which position you're in. You start where you are, and it's better to be more comfortable in the beginning than having your mind being distracted with discomfort in the body. And with more asana progressions, with more flexibility within your body, you can progress into more advanced sitting positions.